It's the comedy, the government. It's the government. It's the government. It's the comedy, the government. Government. The government. It's the government. It's the comedy, the government. It's the government. It's the government. It's the comedy, the government. Government. The government. It's the government. It's the comedy, the government. It's the government. It's the government. It's the comedy, the government. Government, the government, it's the government, it's the comedy, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the comedy, the government, government, the government, it's the government, it's the comedy, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the comedy, the government, government. The government, it's the government, it's the comedy, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the comedy, the government, government, the government, it's the government, it's the comedy, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the comedy, the government, government. The government, it's the government, it's the comedy, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the government.
Latino friends, but they cool, you know, like they like, hey, I'm just gonna make it started. I'm gonna try to be very quick. Okay, so start yet. I'm done. Do that. So they're with the word tether. What does tether do? Allies.
Unbiased Sports, gloves off. Thank you again. He said, tell.
Actually is, seen it on different podcasts. A lot of Black immigrants do it, especially in the Caribbean. So now let's get into what tether actually is, okay? Watch this.
Unbiased Sports, gloves off. Thank you again. He said, tether equal Black immigrants that undermine FBAs. Not all Black immigrants undermine us, are tethers. There you go. Which answers your question about.
The reason why I did that, because I seen tethers in his chat acting like tethers meant all Black immigrants. That's why I had to do that. So let's Tariq Nasheed.
Here's the thing. People ain't dumb. They know what we mean when we say tether. I want y'all to understand this. Tethers love.
I've got to do one thing. Oh, damn. I've got to do one thing. I can play it while I do that. Damn. I've got to add my thumbnail. Fuck. All right, so one more time. Hold on. Upload this. Next. Go, I got the thumbnail. Pop. Okay, I think we're good. Next is very.
So I kind of look at it as a little bit divisive, but I'm not going to knock him because maybe he has a goal, right? Now, what that has turned into is just like, I don't know, it's like really like
Mac screening, so I get that fixed. But until then, I got to rock this old computer. But anyway, academics, he's well aware of what tether is and what it means, but for some reason, he likes to misappropriate it. He likes to tell FBAs unsuspected of the word, and he likes to tell Black immigrants like a little dog whistle. Also, lie to them and say tether means all immigrants. So, so now you heard the definition for myself on Lord Jamar podcast. You heard Tariq Nasheed define it for himself officially, which it does not mean all immigrants. It just means the one who deliberately try to undermine FBA's ADOS and freedmen. Now, watch what academic does. He does what I quote a lot of Black immigrants do. they plaster it to mean all Black immigrants and all immigrants. Catch them.
People like me out the paint. I support him and I love him. And I love people, everybody that's Black. There's obviously some traditional traditions that are different. There's some cultural slight differences, but at the end of the day, we also got to think about the macro perspective. When we walk outside, they look at me as Black, they look at Tariq as Black, right? So I kind of look at it as a little bit divisive, but I'm not going to knock him because maybe he has a goal, right? Now, what that has turned into is just like, I don't know, it's like really like, it's like classic, I want to call it racism, but it's what happens.
Okay. So now that tether academics said racism. I mean the stretch. Okay, listen. Tether. I mean, I don't know why you want to call yourself a tether when if you're not undermining us, you're not that by definition. But if you want to embrace the word tether, then probably because that's what you are. You like to undermine and cosplay Black Americans, African Americans, however you want to term us, Negroes, Afro Americans, ADOS, FBA, or freedmen. Okay. All right, let's go on. Now let's learn what an ethnogenesis is.
I'm African American, right? Okay. So my group's ethnogenesis happened through merger, okay? There was a whole bunch of African ethnic groups that were shipped over in the slave trade. Different ones, honey, okay? Different ones. Shipped over, whole bunch. Guess what? We formed one single ethnic group. That's called a merger. Okay. We all came together. We converged at a certain point. A couple points, actually. We converged, okay? And we all just became one single ethnic group, despite having several different ethnic groups inside of us. One. We didn't distinguish from one another. We became one. That's how the history unfolded for us. That's how history unfolded for anyone who got on that slave ship. It ended up in America, and ended up in Jamaica, and ended up in Haiti, and ended up in Brazil. Okay, that's what happened. That's why if you take our DNA samples, you will see not one area or country, which they weren't countries back then, or one region. You will see loads of different regions in us because we all became one in the United States. They became one in Jamaica. They became one in Haiti, Brazil. They became one in Mexico. One. We didn't distinguish from one another. We became one. Over time, it was not over a day. It wasn't over a month. It wasn't even over 1 year. It was over time. We had a lot of time. Okay, African Americans had a lot of time, and guess what happened? Culture. We developed our very own, just like in Jamaica, they developed their very own, Haiti, their very own transformation of that single ethnic group. That's ethnogenesis. Boom. We were unlike any of our ancestors' single ethnic groups that made us up. We converged. That's what happened. Because over time, it was not over a day, it wasn't over a month, it wasn't even over 1 year. It was over time.
From my whole country, love Jamaica, but I think quite a few Jamaicans from my whole country, love Jamaica, but I think quite a few Jamaicans think that you guys play the victim a lot. Like outside looking in, it's like, gosh, them complain about everything. Look how much opportunity them have. Look how them can work. Look how them can buy $1 burger. And them over there complain. Mm-hmm. And that is how I was preconditioned, if I'm being totally honest. They're like, Shantae, don't go over there and waste the opportunity. Don't go over there and start complaining. Work for your own, focus on that. So that's always been my mindset. We're so focused on just making it. I really want to emphasize that. But sometimes when you just are focused on, oh, you're going to eat, you know, things say somebody I touch you. You know, things say, you know, oh, I'm not have the right temperature.
I'm hungry.
I know you're hungry. I know that. There's little resources in your homeland. So you're over here eating off our backs. I'll explain that later. But we understand you're hungry. We know that full and well. Otherwise, you wouldn't be fleeing.
Way how African Americans prioritize blackness isn't necessarily the same way in which an immigrant would prioritize their African Americans prioritize blackness isn't necessarily the same way in which an immigrant would prioritize their blackness. So, you know how African Americans would say, oh, woman in STEM? No, when we come to this country, it's immigrant or nationality, maybe our careers next, and then whatever else comes after that. So, immigrant, Jamaican, marketer, whatever else comes after that. The issue that you're having is we don't see ourselves as one of you. And the reason that we don't see ourselves as one of you is not because of blackness. We just see ourselves as an outsider. We have to work twice as hard to get where you are. We are so focused on our own business. Some of us.
I never meet one Jamaican, one Islander, one continental African on a job who worked harder, double harder than me. Not one. It's cat. And a lot of y'all don't even work hard in Jamaica because there's no damn work. That's why you're leaving Jamaica. So how are y'all hard workers? Like, where does this hard working come from? Like, where is this? Don't you when you do hard work, it's because you have work. If there's no work, how are you a hard worker? You mean it's hard to work in Jamaica? Ain't no hard working people. It's hard to work in Jamaica. There's not hard working people in Jamaica. Stop the damn cat.
That come to this country don't even have a legal right to be here. You get me? So
yes, we do, and so does Trump and his administration. So be careful what you confess to. So that's called self-snitching. All right, and that's gonna come back to bite you.
While you are fighting your fight, which is that of blackness, we are fighting our fight as immigrants first before point. Back in Jamaica, it wasn't very hard for me to get a corporate job. I have the experience, I'm qualified, I'm all rounded, right? When I started applying to marketing jobs here, I was so timid, and I wasn't timid because I was black. I was timid because all my experience is saying Kingston, Jamaica. My education is saying Kingston, Jamaica. My volunteer experience is Kingston, Jamaica. country is based off of people that fleed. Like, that is what people do. They flee. If it ain't working out there and the oppression is way too bad, they flee for better opportunities. Some people want to sit there and fight all day, but other people actually want to raise their children and they don't want to spend their life fighting. Do you get that? Do you understand that? No, you don't? Okay, no problem.
Ma'am, we don't relate to it. You're 100% right. We don't relate to
entire country. So now let's move forward. So as an immigrant, I'm here in this country. What do I want to do? Put my best foot forward. What do my parents want to do? Put their best foot forward and give us the best opportunity they possibly can. Thank you, Lord, for my parents, because they did exactly that. But it's my turn as their child to hold the baton. And one thing I always say, my parents did not risk their lives to get to America for me to get involved in some political warfare. My parents did not risk their lives for me to get to America, for me to sit here fighting people all day. That makes absolutely no sense. And I think because you guys have never taken that level of a risk, you don't understand that level of responsibility and accountability. That's really the problem here. Because if you really risk your lives to have something, if you really risk your life to get something, you're not willing and ready to throw it away.
To start gatekeeping Carnival. There is no reason on this earth for anybody that's not from the Caribbean to be at Carnival. And I don't care how y'all feel on the subject.
What I'm about to say in this video, I'm not going to gaslight her or beat around the bush, because I agree. I know nothing about carnivals. All I know is what I see on the internet, and that's the pretty outfits and the music and everything. And so I agree. The problem I have with a lot of Africans or Black people that live in the islands, y'all tend to have this hatred towards Black Americans while cosplaying us, because at this point, y'all do not look like y'all supposed to look in y'all culture, such as Burna Boy, who looks like he was cosplaying a Black African American man while telling us we don't have a culture and it doesn't exist. So that don't make any sense. And y'all will sit up on this app and talk about us like a dog while copying our aesthetic look, from the lace fronts all the way down to the white paint toes on y'all toes. Nails on y'all toes would be white. Everything about African American, Black American women aesthetic look, y'all will copy it down from head to toe, and then y'all sit in this camera, press play, and talk about us like a dog, and have hatred towards us while cosplaying us, because that's exactly what y'all doing. That's exactly what y'all doing.
Black Americans people, I don't like them because they take lots of drugs. They do fucking job. I don't like them.
They do what?
They fuck a lot. I don't.
She got a nerve to be talking about sex work, her country. I mean, bro, people visit your country just for sex work. What are you talking about? Are you serious? Sex work in America, period, is like minimum. You got jobs here. Your country, that's all y'all do. That's how the women get paid. What are you talking about? You're projecting, ma'am.
Don't.
And Rwandans don't fuck.
They don't like they don't like it. Yeah.
But I don't believe you.
That's my opinion.
That's what I think.
But have you met any Black Americans in real life?
No, like in the movies. I didn't meet them. One of them.
Okay, but how do you know that the movie is telling you the truth?
Okay, now here we go with the movie conspiracy theory. This is one of their justifications to. You'll see that this is one of their popular justifications to stereotype us and, to stereotype us. Movies. So he asked her, how do you know the movies are true? I mean, are y'all that dumb in Rwanda that y'all don't know movies are fake? Like, are y'all that stupid? Now watch this. The movies. Okay, we gotta do a song about that. We got the government, now we got the movies. Okay. He asked her, how do you know the movies are true? Watch this.
Like the movies, likely they play the real life stories.
She said, we played the real life story. So when this dog watches a Blade, so we're like half werewolf, half vampire, half human. What are you talking? So when you watch Hitch, or when you watch Blank Man, are you serious? This is a bonehead. And a tether by definition. This is a tether, undermining us for no reason. This chick said the movies are real, and these are like true events. These are documentaries. Like, this is a tether if you've never seen one before. And she's a little bit worse than a tether. Damn dog.
The movies, likely they play the real life stories. They play real life stories.
Let's ask about the differences between Rwandan culture.
Peace, YouTube. Exactly, bro. That's all they do, man. They talking about we like to fucks. F-U-X. I said F-U-X, fucks. F-U-X. I didn't curse you, too. Yeah, and all they do is screw each other at the damn job. They got a nerve, man.
Culture and African American culture.
Really? That's what I think?
But have you met any Black
Americans operate? You understand what I'm saying? You guys are the one that participate in those movies that those director want to paint you guys as all gangsters and all sagging your pants with gun in the ghetto, spray up wall and shoot each other, rob and kill. That's all you guys portray you guys self in the movies.
Hey yo, what movies are you talking about? Most of our movies are not gangster. We got action movies, we got Inkwell. What are you talking about? Better Blues. I could go old to mid to now. I mean, was all those crazy ass bachelor type movies, The Wedding, The Mama, Big Mama, all these. So all those are gang. What are you talking about? Bad Boys, Gangster. That's an action movie. Losing Isaiah, that was gangster. What are we doing here? But again, now it's funny because most of our movies do not portray us as gangsters. Every movie I ever watched with pure Jamaican actors, all gangsters. What are you talking about? Just lying, Tether.
That's what we see growing up. Remember, you know, when we don't travel to Europe.
So now remember, this is their way of trying to justify why they talk about us in the negative light. It's the movies. Why are they going to change it? The narrative, see, because this was easy debunked, and then they're going to change it to their parents. But just, I want y'all to hear now for your own ears. They're saying it's the movies, but then they're going to switch it to their parents. The Tethers can't keep their lives straight.
Your country.
What do you think about the Black American culture?
Fucked up. I'm sorry. Is it like okay, the fucked up humanity group that's Black Americans. Yeah. And I actually feel bad for saying that. It's true. It's true. I know it's true.
Why do you believe that?
Because they mostly don't belong where they are. They're Americans. We all know they're Americans. They know they're Americans, but they don't belong there because they are minor. One for that. They're minor, and the racism and everything. They don't belong there actually. So they belong here and they are not here. So they are fucked up.
So you think Black Americans should return to Africa?
They shouldn't. That would be bad. That would be bad. That would be the end of Africa.
that would be the end of Africa. I don't know what Africa she thinks she's living in. Like, you would think she's living in Wakanda. Like, yo, your whole entire continent is a shithole. Let alone your small, irrelevant country. Like, they got nerve. She just said, if we move to Africa, we'll mess it up. Yo, your country is a shithole. Literally. Y'all shit in holes on the ground. Dirt roads. She's talking with a dirt road. Hold on. When the other one was walking in Rwanda, they was walking under a dirt road.
South Africa, like, change bad.
Yeah,
I feel like she said, it would not like change because being like, my parents are both from Grenada. They came here in the like 80s and 90s. So what he was saying about how they think that black people are lazy does like resonate with me because I've heard that a lot. But obviously, as me being a first generation American, like, I don't really obviously agree. But I don't know. Like, I don't know what can change it, to be honest, because I feel like it's a real stereotype that we just cannot change.
So she just admit, as a Canadian woman, she just admit that there are stereotypes in their country about Black Americans. They never met us. They can't come over. If they do, they're going to be illegal and deported out of here sometime in January or later this year. But she's calling us lazy, never work with us. And it's like the opposite. Every African migrant or immigrant I work with is lazy. It's like the opposite. Like they skinny as hell and like weak. Yeah, but keep your stereotypes. We don't care. This is why we have to draw the line. Now you see why we have to. We gotta do this with Africa. Here's Africa. Okay, Tetherland. There's a whole bunch of tethers over there. Okay, and here's the best country in human history over here. We have to draw the line. And we also got to draw, as you're going to see very soon, well, you're already seeing, we got to draw the line with the Caribbean as well. We have to, look how you're talking about us. It's done? Okay. Okay, sit down.
Haitian Americans are extremely disappointed in Black America. Maybe not all, maybe it's just the Haitian people that I know. But I'm telling you, they're extremely disappointed in Black America. Because the way we would really love to handle this whole, they're eating cats, they're eating dogs, the xenophobia, the racism that's coming up against Haitian people right now, the way we would love to handle it, the way we know to get results, we're not able to do it. And it's not because we can't do it, or it's not because we don't want to do it. It's because we understand that a lot of Black Americans, you all have been raised with this mentality that a white man will hurt you, and then you'll go to court and beg another white man for justice. You'll beg another white man for your humanity, even when you can tell after generations that white people will never give it to you. As a matter of fact, the little bit of humanity they were willing to acknowledge, they're now trying to take it away from you and take your back to slavery. Haitians are, I made a video not long ago where I said, you will never see a white man or woman call a Haitian person in their face because everybody around would murder them. And when the police show up, no one knows what happened. And if you ever see that person live, it's because the Haitian people are going to follow him to his house or her house and in their bloodline right then and there.
They got white names, you know what I mean? Like, it would be like something Thompson, you know what I mean? Yeah. You never see that in an African person. It would be like Pascal, it would be Hamada Dog, it would be, you know what I mean? Yeah. Kevin, yeah. They're all, I remember, like, white people. So something weird. Yeah,
Yo, we're on their brains rent-free 24/7. And I know why they're jealous. They're jealous because in their homelands, they're shitholes, and there are no real opportunities. There's no jobs. They see us over here with all the opportunities. We're in the best country ever. We did not immigrate. We didn't migrate. We're Foundation Black Americans. We're ADOS. We are freedmen. Just deal with it. Okay? And deal with that mass deportation that's coming. And this is why we got to draw this line. Because you guys drew the line first. Look at all the smoke you got. No, but we like, all right, cool. We ain't crying. Stay over there. That's what we would have like this. Stay with it. Literally, stay with it. Literally, stay over there. In Spanish, what? Ayer, allá. Stay your ass over there.
Say it's in there. Oh.
That's interesting. So let's explore that.
That's really interesting.
Okay, now watch. Okay, so now we're gonna move from the reason why they hate us so much was the movies. Now we're gonna move to the other reason why they hate us. It's the parent. It's my mother. We gotta do a song with mother and the movies. Here we go. Here are the parents.
No idea. So yeah, so I have this tweet by Mick Beanie _ and they said African Americans are by far the worst representation of Black people.
Okay.
They are obnoxious, self-righteous assholes that make people's lives a living hell anywhere they go. And then she got like 390 likes.
Is she also Black?
No, I don't know what she was. This is what she said. Yeah.
Wow. That's
Now you see, yeah, we're on their minds all day long.
really a lot of hate. I feel like I don't even really feel
Okay,
that.
so now listen to this Jamaican woman. She's gonna say that's a lot of hate. She agrees that was a lot of hate being expressed.
Okay. This is what she said. Yeah.
Wow. That's really a lot of hate. I feel like I don't even really feel that way. I feel like that's a little harsh, but I do like coming from my mom would say, because I'm obviously like American, right? And I'm born and raised like in New York. So I have a lot of like culture, you feel me, from America. But like my mom would agree with that comment.
There we go. She just admit that was a lot of hate. And she said her mother, when she was a little girl, her mother would have agreed with that. That Black folks are the worst, FBA, Adolf Freedmen are the worst representation of Black people. Okay, well, we're gonna put that to this test because we're gonna put all of the Black immigrants. We're gonna compare. I am going to compare all of them and their homelands and their wretched conditions to ours. We're gonna see who is really the worst representation of Black folks globally. And unfortunately, I'm gonna start with Jamaica first. Okay, so she said that was a lot of hate expressed in that tweet. And then she said, my mom shared the same sentiments. I mean, it's 1 + 1. My mom had the same hatred for Adolf Freedman, FBA. And all y'all Caribbean people are silent to this. If I go to this original video, you ain't gonna see no Jamaican flags in there like, hey, that's wrong, that's wrong. Yeah, no. She got 390 tweets.
She would agree with that post. She would say, but like my mom would agree with that comment. She would agree with that post. She would say like, you know, lazy, like loud, rude, all the negative connotations.
I can speak from my perspective, being Nigerian and like my parents coming over with thick accents. The most kind of backlash that they experienced was from African Americans for the way that they spoke, assuming that they're like uneducated. And so I also experienced that.
How does he speak any different from us? That was a weird thing. He said the way we speak, we come off as uneducated, as though we speak broken English, like a lot of tethers do. We sound like you and better. How? So if we sound ignorant, you sound like us. Like, what did you say just now that make you sound like you dig Jordan Peterson, somebody, Ben Shapiro? You sound just like us. Like these folks, these tethers are delusional. If you think you sound like you're most articulate right now.
Like being Nigerian, like people, you know, clicking, like all the like basic, like kind of prejudicial things against Africans.
So you say it was Nigeria, keep in mind, because they're next after Jamaica.
But I also will say that like my parents definitely came over here with stereotypes about African Americans.
Oh, there you go. Now it's the parents. It's no longer the movies. Now it's the parents. But they keep comparing. They're claiming when they were very young in elementary school, they're claiming that other FBAs in the same third grade was calling them bad names, right? A third grader. But they're comparing a third grader behavior. Let's say if it was true, hypothetically, make believe, Let's say if that was true. A FBA third grader called you stereotypical names, right? You're comparing your grown mother. All of y'all tethers, y'all comparing y'all grown mother to a second grader. That's a legend FBA. So remember, he looked like us. So that third grader could have been somebody from the continent, somebody from the Caribbean. We don't know. How do you know as a third grader that the other third grader was for sure FBA? Like, come on, man, that's weak.
So just both sides like not necessarily having an understanding of one another.
So exactly, Paul Gang. So keep in mind, he compared his grown tether mother behavior to an elementary kid and said, yeah, well, you see, so it's an issue on both sides. Are you serious? He's not even comparing adults with adults. He's literally comparing, or figuratively, in every sense, apples and oranges. This is the goofy stretch they got to go to try to make a case why they hate us. And it's not there. The math ain't mathing. Make it make sense.
Immigrated from the United States. It wasn't white people that were making me uncomfortable or making me like, you know, I mean, I'm never gonna be ashamed of the fact that I'm African, but like
I know you're not gonna be ashamed you're African. You're a big obese woman. You're just so confident in yourself. Oh, be sure.
Making fun of like my friends that were Africans, you know, like making fun of them because they had thick accents or they were eating their food. Like I didn't end up getting in fights with white people over that. I ended up getting in fights with Black Americans over that, right? And I think it comes from a lack of—
join the line, because FBA's get into fights with the same comments towards us with each other. So join the line, okay? And guess what? White Americans do the same thing to themselves. Hispanics do the same thing to themselves, and then even the East Indians do the same thing themselves. And I'm sure the perfect Jamaicans, they get on each other as well. All right? That's called kids, right? Kidding around. Okay, but anyway, go ahead with your kid experience, elementary school experience.
Understanding, and people have to understand that like when Africans are immigrating to the United States, their idea of African Americans, like take away modern times where we have like the internet and everything, it's coming from TV, right? Where they're just seeing—
we're back with the movie conspiracy theory. Okay, somebody said movies earlier, then they went to the parents, and now it's back to the movies. Which one is it? Who's giving you these terrible stereotypes against FBA's, the best representation of Black folks? Who's giving you the stereotypes? Is it the movies or is it your parents? Is it make-believe or is it your parents? Like, come on. The lie ain't mathing. The lie ain't tying. Oh, I like that phrase. That's a nice jingle. The lying ain't tying. That's mine. So if y'all take it from here, y'all can borrow it, but that's mine. I'm by sports. The lying ain't tying. The lying isn't tying.
These rappers and these music videos, and you're seeing these movies and TV shows with people shooting guns and like cussing, whereas where you guys, when you're raised here and you're young, you're seeing Africans, these skinny children with the big belly, and they're starving, and
that's
there's
reality.
nothing around them, and blah blah blah. So
real starving kids.
It's divide.
I think that it all started with childhood. That as a kid, I know personally I was made fun of.
Okay, you heard her say childhood. Okay, they're comparing kids with kid talk. Oh, you're from Africa. You're an African booty scratcher. Oh, do you own an elephant? To parents saying those people are dumb. They're murderers. They're criminals. They're drug addicts. That's what the Africans are saying, because it's in the movies. Okay, as opposed to a young kid just saying, "Hey, do you own an elephant? Hey, you're an African booty scratcher." They comparing that language to don't hang around FBAs because they're murderers, killers, whoremongers, pimps, and prostitutes. That's not even, you can't even compare those two realities. What? But go ahead and start doing more tether babbling.
For being African, childhood, that
It's divide.
I think that it all started with childhood. That as a kid, I know personally I was made fun of for being African. Those typical comments like, "Do you live in a bush? Do you own an elephant?" Like stuff like that.
So that's as You think that's as bad as saying a whole race of people you never met are drug dealers, whoremongering, murderers, pimps, prostitutes, thugs, ghetto? You think those languages are comparable? You think those languages are comparable? You think those languages are, you could compare, you think they're comparable. You guys are crazy and delusional.
Stem from that and just ignorance from our parents as well. Our parents say things to us in which, I can't speak for African Americans, but I know as well. I like that. So I feel like it stemmed from that and just ignorance from our parents as well. Our parents say things to us in which, at least I can't speak for African Americans, but I know Africans, our parents say things to try to get us to stick with other Africans instead of branching out. And for that festered. So now it just lives on as we get older.
So she'll get a pass. She's comparing, again, adults' discrimination stereotypes on Black folks to a young kid saying, hey, do you own an elephant? Do you live in a bush? She's saying an adult. And look, she's going to be more specific later about what her parents were saying.
I've kind of broken this down. So it started basically from childhood, at least for Africans.
It starts from childhood. All of them are comparing, and I don't believe all the stories are real. Some of this is straight cat. They're comparing kids with, like, listen, a third grader, fourth grader, fifth grader. What can they possibly say that's so mean compared to an adult conjuring some mean stuff to say? Adults, the language is not even, like when a kid says something, like they barely know what they're saying. And you're comparing that to your mother. I mean, is this just me? Because nobody else is saying anything. You're acting like this is a fair trade of words. Elementary kids to, allegedly elementary kids to grown women, teaching their kids to hate FBAs. Like,
we definitely like got made fun of about like our background and everything, like being told like you're not Black enough and stuff.
We know that's a lie. We know it's a lie. Damn near all of y'all that come over here are Black enough. So we know you're lying about that. Like, okay, the other things you guys say may be true, but the Black enough, that's completely cap. You guys come over here, clearly the darkest person in the room. Not a bad thing, I'm just saying, so nobody's going to say that. Stop it.
Like that.
And look even in that room, look at this room. You guys are the darkest people in that room. So nobody FBA is going to ever say you're not Black enough. That's a complete lie. They're just making stuff up just to justify their hatred and jealousy towards FBA Adolph's freedom.
So like as Africans got older, they kind of like held that inside. And then like when all of a sudden it became like cool to be African, like you'd see people like wearing like the dashiki and wearing like cloth and all of that stuff. Like
Okay, so I agree with her in that aspect, but also another thing I feel like isn't talked about enough is the way our parents will talk about Black Americans. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, our parents are not respectful. They will say things to try to instill within us to divide away from them.
Paul Gang, you right the money. Look, divide away from them, delineate. She said our parents will tell us things about FBAs who we never met prior to coming amongst them. Our parents would tell us certain things to delineate from them. Okay, I mean, you're hearing it from their mouths. Why don't y'all use these videos and clip them and source up when y'all in these other chat rooms? And I would love a Pan-Africanist to call in, probably not tonight, but tomorrow when I go live. I would love a Pan-Africanist to call in, or somebody in one of these places, continental Africa, or the islands. I would love y'all to call in. Let's have a respectful conversation about this. I would love to take part of these diaspora wars, sit down on somebody's couch. I would love that.
Not respectful. They will say things to try to instill within us to divide away from them, but like being lazy or not as clean or stuff like that. And
yeah, did she say not as clean? Did she just say that their parents have stereotypes that we are less clean than the Caribbean and Africa? You guys have no FBA. You guys don't have running water like that. Your filter system isn't like ours. Your soaps ain't like ours. I mean, what the hell is going on here? You got dirt roads. You guys wear open sandals walking on dirt roads. And you're telling, you got cows pissing on your head. And you're telling me that we're less clean than you guys? I mean, yo, the insanity is crazy. Americans, period, is more sanitary than the rest of the world. What are you talking about? The shower's right there. We take like 3 showers a day, some people. What are you talking about? That's just foolishness at this point.
And I feel like that also helps perpetuate the divide, which also needs to be acknowledged.
Nah, but I am gonna watch it. I ain't watching it yet, bro. I promise you. Be business. I'm gonna watch it, and that's why my thumbnail is that. I'm gonna watch it. I'll probably watch it over the weekend, probably most likely. He's talking about Us, the movie Us. Okay.
Okay, so growing up.
Here we go. Growing up, you got this lie about the movies again. Watch this.
I had this idea, this ideology from the media, from people around me, that African Americans were these ghetto, noisy, arrogant, aggressive.
Right. Hey, Paul, again, that's a fair point. Like, one of the stereotypes that if we're going to have amongst non-Americans, it ain't got nothing to do with the islands or Africa. This is the world. Like, the one thing about America is that we feel like we're the best. We feel like we're the hardest workers and we're the most clean. Like, so Africa does not have the reputation of being a clean country for clean people. Like you just said, like she just said that there's videos of little kids out there skinny with big bellies with flies in their face, with dirty feet. Like, so there's no way. You guys are wrestling food away from lions. What are you talking about?
On, just criminal people. And
Rwanda, where Bloods and Crips gang banging got nothing to do with Rwanda gang banging. What about when the Africans chopping off each other's hands and stuff? And that was legal. But what we do amongst ourselves is illegal. It's frowned upon. What y'all do is actually legal. Y'all got some of the worst governments in the world. You and the islands.
And, for whatever reason, that just was justified in my head. It's like, anytime I would have my hat backwards or to the side, when I, like, back in the 90s or early 2000s, even like adults would be like, put your hat forward. You're not a gangster or something like that.
He just did retarded
that. And I'm like,
So Marky Mark wore his head backwards. What about Rappaport, that clown? When they wear their hat backwards, are they gangsters too? Like,
all these different rap music was just seen as like I always saw rap music as like, okay, it's bad music, but like it's bad but cool music.
So I think this was the intent of my elders as they reminded me to stay away from akatas. Akata is a derogatory term for African Americans. I didn't understand why at the time, because I knew nothing about propaganda, media, or anything else we'll discuss today.
All right. So before I play this video, let's just speed up a little bit. I got some questions. Okay, so let me play this video. Let's be right back.
Garvey was convicted of mail fraud for selling the company's stock, and he was imprisoned in the United States Penitentiary, Atlanta, for nearly 2 years. Many commentators, who have argued that the trial was politically motivated, Garvey blamed Jewish people, claiming that they were prejudiced against him because of his links to the KKK. After his sentence was commuted by U.S. President Calvin Coolidge, he was deported to Jamaica in 1927, settling in Kingston with his wife. He thought that the project could be launched by raising $2 million from African American donors, 199 publicly declaring that any Black person who did not buy stock in the company will be worse than a traitor to the cause of struggling Ethiopia. And then in September 1919 to Chicago, where he was accompanied by 7 other UNIA members. In Chicago, he was arrested and fined for violating the Blue Sky laws, which banned the sale of stock in the city without a license. In January 1922, Garvey was arrested and charged with mail fraud for having advertised the sale of stocks in a ship, Orion, which the Black Star Line did not yet own. News of Garvey's meeting with the KKK soon spread, and it was covered on the front page of many African American newspapers, causing widespread upset.
You think?
When news of the meeting was revealed, it generated much surprise and anger among African Americans.
Yes.
Grant noted that it marked the most significant turning point in his popularity.
Let me run that back.
Grant noted that it marked the most significant turning point in his popularity. 240 several prominent Black Americans, Chandler Owen, Philip Randolph, William Pickens, and Robert Bagnall, launched the Garvey Must Go campaign in the wake of the revelation. 241, many of these critics played to nativist ideas by emphasizing Garvey's Jamaican identity and sometimes calling for his deportation.
Okay, so you caught that? So go, Garvey must go. Let me write that in chat. Garvey, P-Shep, Garvey must go. Okay? And when we say that, that's, you know, you could take that as illegals must go, tethers must go, but Garvey must go. Garvey must go. Now, check it out. It said that prominent FBAs at that time was after he met with the Klan, after he joined the Klan, after he joined with the Klan, prominent, self-respecting FBAs, look, at that point started to question, oh, ain't he Jamaican? Because we're trying to say, why is he with the Klan? Like, what FBA would be with the Klan? So we like, why are you with the Klan? Oh, you might be a little agent, a little hot. And we start saying, wait, he is Jamaican, right? So we start to ask the obvious question, wait, he in FBA, he's Jamaican. And then what we do, we call for his deportation. Hey, yo, J. Edgar, come get this guy. He's all yours. Donald Trump, come get this guy. He's all yours. Garvey must go.
Emphasizing Garvey's Jamaican identity
Mark, peace.
And sometimes calling for his deportation.
Yep, I just read it, Mark. Now look at this FBA rider, W. Du Bois. Look what he did. He was not with Garvey at all. All that cool stuff Garvey's doing.
Du Bois, who was not among the 8, then wrote an article critical of Garvey's activities in the EU deaths.
He's like, yo, y'all ain't seen this? This dude just joined with the KKK. They had a big fat suit for him.
In June, a team of UNI technicians was sent to start work in preparing for these colonies. 284, when they arrived in Liberia, they were arrested and immediately deported.
Yeah, did y'all know that? Did y'all know Garvey ain't go with them? You see that, right? Hey, yo, flee America and go to Liberia where you'll be safe. But he didn't go. And as soon as they got there, they got arrested because they are going to another country as illegals, all right? But that was Garvey's idea. Got them boys arrested. Look at this.
At the same time, Liberia's government issued a press release declaring that it would refuse permission for any Americans to settle in their country.
Okay, so he like, yo, what y'all doing? Yo, who the hell is Garvey? Garvey sent us. Garvey who? Marcus Garvey. Mel Fraud Garvey? Oh, hell no. No. Mel Fraud, he's a scammer. Don't listen to him, man. Get the hell out of here. We give y'all some time. Send him. Have him come. If y'all, have your leader come. And keep in mind, y'all make Tariq our leader. We don't say he's our leader. Y'all make him our leader. Y'all say, hey, he come with all his baggage here. Look at your leader. But this is your actual leader of the Pan-Africanist movement. This is your leader of the Pan-Africanist movement, joining with the KKK. All this coon stuff, getting locked up for mail fraud, selling illegal stocks, scamming FBAs, selling stocks to the ship Orion that he never even owned. Selling a stock that he never owned selling a stock to a ship he never owned. Lying, scamming. So, Tariq, he's your leader, and that's a bad representation. He got too much baggage, but he's not our leader. You're trying to make him our leader. It's not a leader. He even says he's not a leader. But this is your leader, and your leader is a scammer. Your leader is a convicted felon. Your leader did get deported. You dig? Yeah.
285. Garvey blamed Dubois for this apparent change in the Liberian government's attitude, for the latter had spent time in the country and had links with its ruling elite. Dubois denied the accusation.
Mel Fraud Garvey, he then blamed W. Du Bois why those men got arrested and sent back or got deported back to America. He blamed W. Du Bois. When W. Du Bois was like, yo, don't go there. All you can do is turn your back around. This dude's a scamming fraud fool. Okay, so you see W. Du Bois have real smoke with this guy, and he was justified. But somehow, this is your king. It's about baggage. This is baggage, and it's embarrassing. Garvey must go. Listen to this.
Garvey made a number of incendiary speeches in the months leading up to that meeting. In some, he thanked the whites for Jim Crow.
Y'all still want to compare Tariq to Garvey? This guy praised Jim Crow while speaking to the Klan. He's like, y'all were wise for that Jim Crow stuff, man. I salute y'all. That was smart, keeping these FBAs in check, scaring them, terrorizing them. You dig? Yo, this is your leader. Now look what happened to him. Our government stepped up and got rid of this goddamn fool. I can't even call him a tether. I'm not even sure he was a tether, but he was definitely a fool in this camp.
Sargent warned President Calvin Coolidge that African Americans were regarding Garvey's imprisonment not as a form of justice against a man who had swindled them, but as an act of oppression of the race in their efforts in the direction of race progress.
So of course, those are a bunch of foolish FBAs. So we do that today. When an FBA, member of like an organization like the Nation of Islam, the Black Panthers, the UNIA, these type of the Moors, like these type of movements, these organizations, when they get locked up by the police, they'll say, hey, like polite tribe, hey, they out to get me. It's a conspiracy. Look, this is proof that I'm right. Look, they're trying to stop me from preaching the message. So we had fools then as we got them now. Like, no, He's being locked up for swindling you guys. It says it right here. He swindled you guys. You're just blind. You're blind, baby. You're blind to the facts. You can't see what we can see.
309. Eventually, Coolidge agreed to commute the sentence so that it would expire immediately on November 18, 1927. He stipulated, however, that Garvey should be deported straight after release.
Bye-bye. See ya. And I wouldn't want to be you.
Dissatisfied with life in Jamaica,
he hated Jamaica. Like some of you today. That's why you don't stay there. And I'm going to show you videos of people fleeing Jamaica and hate Jamaica. I got the testimonies. So look at Garvey. He goes back to Jamaica and he hated his life in Jamaica. Okay? And this is light. I'm being light on Jamaica. I ain't go hard. I might do that tomorrow. It's too late. But Jamaica, we're going to see all these black folks with the movies. They're criminals. All these movies make y'all criminals and thieves and whoremongering. All right, well, we ain't looking at movies in Jamaica. Okay, we're going to look at the reality of Jamaica. And we're going to see who are the real whoremongers, pimps, robbers, sex offenders, all that type of stuff. We gonna see fraternity fraud cases. How many jackets y'all got? Y'all over here in America probably with 10 jackets already. Oh yeah, I know the language. I know the language, baby.
Garvey decided to move to London, sailing aboard the SS Talapa in March 1935. 335, once in London, he told his friend Amy Bailey that he had left Jamaica a broken man, broken in spirit, broken in health, and broken in pocket, and I will never, never, never go back.
God damn, Jamaica is so great that your fellow born brother said, I will never, never, never go back. And that's how some of y'all feel when y'all come to the U.S. Y'all never want to go back. Once you go, give me a jingle. Once you get on FBA's back, you never, once you ride FBA's back, you never want to go back. Okay, no, this is tomorrow. This is tomorrow. So what I drew right here, this little drawing, this is the delineation. So as you can see, continental Africans were taught and trained to delineate against FBAs, and they never even met us yet. As you can see, people from the Caribbean testified. Their parents trained them when they come over here, delineate, separate themselves from us before they even met us. That's the fact. We don't have it. There's no such teaching in America. The FBA was like, yo, when those black immigrants come over here, delineate, separate yourselves. There's no such teaching. That is one-sided, one way. So stop acting like the hate goes both ways. It does not. You're lying. And that makes you a tether. Okay. So this is what I have, right? So hold on a second. Hold on. So I would love to speak to a Pan-Africanist, first and foremost. If I can't get a Pan-Africanist, just give me somebody from the Caribbean. Anybody. Shit, come on. Okay, just give me anybody from the Caribbean. Now, I'm serious. I like to talk to somebody from the Caribbean. Okay, cool. All right, let me clear that drawing up. I'm gonna cut this one short because of the time. All right. So Pan-Africanism and you Pan-Africanists, you guys, you Pan-Africanists been around for longer than 100 years. You got all these questions for us. An idea that just happened yesterday. And you want to know where's the progress, how close we are. You guys are 100 years in this farce, this dream of this uniting Black people from all across the world. Where is your progress? How close are you to achieving your goal? How long? What time frame? When do you expect to, by June of this year, how much closer? What is the results you expect? What progress you expect to gain? All of these questions for you and your movement. Okay? Who is your current leader? Or are you now leaderless like FBAs? Who is your leader? Who are the leaders and who is your leader? You only had one leader at one point. Now you probably got so many. But who are the leaders? Who is the leader of the Pan-Africanist movement? Okay. Because your founder was a convicted criminal. Okay. He formed the organization UNIA in 1914, something like that, and he failed. His movement failed, and as a result, he fled by way of deportation. Okay, he was a convicted criminal of mail fraud, which he really did. He had a print. He had skills from like printers back in Jamaica. That's some of his background. He come to the best country in history of mankind, and he used that skill set to print fake stocks. Okay, stock certificates. And he sold them. And they were backed by absolutely nothing. You cannot liquidate them things at all. Okay, you wouldn't even get 2 rocks. Okay, so he did a pump and dump. That's what it's called. He did a pump like Vivek. He did a pump and dump like Vivek. And he took the money and he did buy ships. But again, he failed. One of his ships got towed. Like, how do your ship get towed? How your ship get towed from the goddamn sea? All right. Anyway, then that wasn't good enough. So then he lied and said he owned the Orion ship, Orion. I just showed you. I saw stuff. Google it. He lied and said he owned that ship and said, "Black folks, come buy stocks in this ship." He showed a picture. You know what scammers do. This one is so big as the Titanic. Y'all all gonna fit this one, and we're going to Africa, and that Liberian government's gonna let us in. We're gonna take it over. We're gonna start a coup over there. Okay. So of course he got locked up for mail fraud. So that was a legitimate charge. Mail fraud, dude. You're selling stocks without license and you're scamming. You don't even own this one. Okay. He joined up with the Klan. That's a fact. Right? This is your leader. He praised Jim Crow when he started cooning. Got with the Klan, started crooning. Yo, started cooning. Yo, Jim Crow, that was your genius. Okay. That's it. And it seems like Black immigrants are comfortable joining what we got. They join onto hip hop. They join onto our culture, the things, dress codes, the slang, our swag. But now there's something that there's no membership required. You gotta be born into it. And as a result, they feel entitled and they hate it that they cannot join this one. You gotta be born into it. Okay? And you can't cosplay your way into it. As a result of so many Jamaicans fleeing from Jamaica because there's no work, the government is shitty. And this is coming from Jamaicans' mouths. I'll play tomorrow. Okay, as a result, you have Jamaican Britons. You have Jamaican Canadians. You have Jamaican Americans. You have Jamaican, what else? Okay, so it got so bad that they're no longer regarded as nouns. Okay, they're regarded as adjectives. They're describing the noun, the country they're in. Jamaican Britons. You're an adjective. You're not the noun. Jamaican Canadians. Adjective. Jamaican Americans. Adjective. You're not even a noun anymore. So much fleeing, you became a permanent adjective. All right. This is the light version. Okay, tomorrow, the gloves are off. I got it misunderstood, dark side, maybe I do, but I would love for you to subscribe. I'm gonna send a link tomorrow. I'm gonna send the phone number as well tomorrow. You don't gotta tell me where you're from. I don't care about your background. I don't care how old you are, where you work. I don't care about none of those personal things. I just want your information. That's it. Okay? You can be non-FBA, FBA, don't care. I want your information. So if I got it misunderstood, tomorrow's your chance. And it's anybody. This is an open invitation for anybody. I've been dying to get somebody on. Okay, everybody got a lot to see on other channels, but when it's time to, hey, let's talk and have a nice dialogue where we can ask questions and get somewhere. Because I want to know about this Pan-Africanism movement. Okay, I want to know more about it, and let's talk about your leader. Okay, and then we're gonna go into Jamaica's business tomorrow. So we're gonna do They Not Like Us Part 2 tomorrow. And you can show me what I got wrong. So that's it, man. I appreciate y'all as always. Just make sure you tune in tomorrow because the part 2 has to happen. Wheezy. Wheezy. Oh, I cannot leave without this. I'm sorry. 1 second. I cannot leave without this. Not without some music. So y'all can dance to before you go to bed. Or if you're from the West Side, you damn sure ain't going to bed. If you're from overseas, you're probably not going to bed. Okay, but let me leave you with some music before you all ass. Hold on. Don't leave just yet. I got a nice song for you. I got a nice song for you. Broccoli going crazy up on the Lakers. Okay, here's a nice song for you guys.
The government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, it's the government, the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government, the government, it's the government, it's the government,